Hello everyone, my name is Pacha and welcome back to another small episode of Tiergarten Edelwald. And yeah, welcome to this little special episode, our second one for the series. The first one was for building the train wagons for our little North American area. And this one basically is just me building the shelters for all the ungulates in our rhino park, which we finished 2 weeks ago, I think it is. Now with my 1 week not uploading a video, I think it's now 2 weeks, or 3 weeks even, because the last video that we did was for the lions back in the historic center of the zoo. And when we made, or when we were building the rhino habitat, specifically the indoor area, indoor house for the rhinos, I said that I also recorded building one of the backstage shelters for all the other ungulates in this habitat. So the Nilgai, the Blackbuck, and the Père David steer, but due to the rhino house taking so much time and taking so long to finish, I ultimately scrapped and deleted basically the footage of me building these shelters, or I didn't include them in the video because I didn't want to make this video too long. But I said, hey, if you are interested in that, I can upload them maybe without commentary or things like that. And yeah, that is basically what we do today. Just we do some commentary. And the reason why I upload this video is not because there were a huge amount of people asking me to upload this. There were a couple, but not the masses basically. But that there usually otherwise wouldn't be a video this week, because as you probably know, if you are not new on the channel, if you are new, welcome, and I hope you enjoy your stay here. But if you aren't new, then you know that I was on holiday last week to celebrate my 30th birthday. Yes, I'm old. And then also I was on a little secret trip that my girlfriend gifted me for the birthday, which turned out to be Stuttgart, a city in the southwestern part of Germany, which is also home to a zoo called Wilhelma, a very known zoo, I would say, even outside of Germany, because it's the only zoo in the Western Hemisphere that houses quokkas. That is very cool. They're the only zoo in all of Europe and North America that houses them, apart from, there are only, I think, a few zoos in Australia, and then I think 1 or 2 in Asia. But they are the first zoo in the Western Hemisphere to house and breed quokkas, and it was very cool to see them. I also wasn't there on the same day as just Goron, but this time sadly we missed each other. I saw him a couple times in the running around in the background, but it was a very, very hot day, so I didn't felt like running after him. So we sadly missed each other. We knew we were there, both each other. We wrote about it, we texted each other, but we sadly missed each other. But anyway, the reason I'm telling you this is that, of course, there wouldn't be a video this week normally, because last week I was on holiday, of course, then I didn't have any time to record a video. And yeah, that's also why there wasn't a video last week, because as I said, I wasn't home, I couldn't record, yada yada, you know the drill. When I'm on holiday, usually there's a 2-week hiatus before I upload the next video. But I had this footage lying around, the footage of me building these backstage shelters for the ungulates, and I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see how I built them, because they're quite cool, if I say so myself. I mean, they are based on the real ones in Schönbrunn, so they are not my brainchild, so to say, so just execution of building them is, but I still thought it would be interesting for you guys to see how I built them. And also we can have a small little video where I tell you a little bit about my holiday, maybe I tell you about how it will be going on in the future, such things. So that's why we're here, that's why we are building this. And also I can use this opportunity to then, in the real-time part, do some naming I forgot last time in the last video. I will not show you the shelters again, because I already showed you the final shelters in the Rhino House video. So if you want to see the final result of these shelters, I recommend watching this video. But I will show you 2 other things that I did in this zoo between recording for this series. One I was building during one of our last live streams, and the other one I was building in my private time, apart from live streams and videos. So I will show you in the real-time part at the end. I will show you these 2 things, these 2 additions to the zoo. They weren't any spectacular things, so I didn't include them in the video. Something like that. They're not for an animal. They're just for the broader feel of this zoo, basically. But yeah. This is what we will do in the real-time part. And now in the few minutes that we have left in this part over here, I can tell you that my trip to Stuttgart to the Wilhelma was amazing. It was a very hot day. I think we had around 35 degrees Celsius, so a lot of sun, so it was very, very hot. Yeah, luckily it wasn't humid, but it was super bright and sunny and things like that. It was a great weather, but same as us sweating, also the animals weren't that active because they were just usually staying in the shade, things like that. But I saw the quokkas. I was there for the feeding of the quokkas. The Wilhelma has 3 quokkas. I don't know the sexes, but I would probably guess 2 females and 1 male, and they are really active. They are really cool. Was really nice. I got some pictures that I maybe will post on social media at one point or another. I think I even posted some on Instagram. But yeah, they were really active. Was really cool to see them. The whole zoo is really cool. There are some old parts, especially when it comes to the big cats and the pachyderms, so rhinos and elephants. These are very old and out of date exhibits. But other parts of the zoo feel very modern, feel very catered towards the needs of the animals. There's an amazing mountain animal display, mountain animal area for things like Markhor, spectacled bear, snow leopards. I think they had alpine ibex. Really cool things, also beavers for some reason. Don't ask me why, but this was really cool because this whole zoo is basically built on a mountainside, so they really used that fact to create stunning and really amazing exhibits for the animals. And also this whole zoo is also a botanical garden. It's a botanical garden and a zoo, both things at the same time. So they also have a huge collection of greenhouses, rare plants, wonderful gardening places. So it's, if you ever are in Germany and if you're ever in that part of Germany, then I highly recommend going to the Wilhelma. It's a really cool and really historic zoo. It's not that old, but the buildings it is built around are very old. The zoo itself is only, I think it's around 60 years old, so not that old in terms of some zoos we have in Germany. But it's really cool. It was really cool to be there, and thank you again to my girlfriend for gifting me this awesome little holiday and visiting the zoo, which I probably won't do again in a couple of years because I'm rarely in the western parts of Germany. Anyway, this is what I wanted to talk about for my trip to Stuttgart. But also we also went while I was on with my parents for my birthday. I was also in Leipzig again, Leipzig Zoo. Again, you know me. If you know me, you know that this is my love. My heart pours into Leipzig Zoo. It's one of my favorite zoos, and it was also cool to see all the developments there. But I will probably talk about a little bit more about that in more in videos in the future, because next week we are back with videos. And now this speed build is over, and I will see you in the real time part. Alright, and here we are now in our real-time part. A little bit different than usual because we don't look at what we did in the speed build, but on other things. But before we do that, we have to do some naming that I forgot in the last episode. So to make up for that, we have 4 names today. The first one coming from Greyhammer1, who suggested we should name one of the male African wild dogs Lycaon, which for those who don't know, that is the name of an ancient king who was transformed by the Greek gods into a wolf. He was transformed into a wolf for devouring or for serving, I think, the gods his own children. They transformed him into a wolf, and that is also where we get the name lycanthrope from, which is the name or the scientific name for werewolves. So he is basically the first werewolf, and I think that is a very fitting name for our wild dog over here. So let's find a male one. So we got one, and we name him Lycaon, after the first werewolf in history, basically, or in mythology. The next one comes from Tublo Plan Zoo, who suggested we should name the female rhino Armura, which basically goes in the direction of armored plates, because Indian rhinos looks like they have armored plates. But it also fits, I think, because Amura also sounds like Amour, so love, which of course is a very fitting name for a female rhino, basically, despite whatever is happening to her head here. So, and the last two are for our newest addition to the zoo, which are the lions. The first one coming from Kulufra, I still can't pronounce that name, who suggested that we should name one of the lioness Binta, which is a girl's name from West Africa, and it's apparently to them is a very cute name. So I think it's also fitting for West African lion that we name them after a West African name. So this one is named Binta, and the second one comes from Lisa Belfast 89. Who wishes me a great happy birthday. Thank you for that. I did have one, and they suggest for the other lioness Kitani or Nala, and I would go with the first one because the second one is pretty on the nose with the Lion King. So I would go for Kitani, which is also a wonderful name for our second lioness. Okay, with that out of the way, we can now look at two new additions to the zoo, which you can see now on this picture. One is on the left and one is on the right, and we start chronologically with that one on the right, which is a new fountain. This is a new fountain that I built, which in real life isn't there. There's no fountain in real life here. What is here in real life is the monkey house, a very amazing building, which has houses couple of different small monkey species. And I actually had plans to build that monkey house. I already laid down all the blueprints basically in the zoo with plaster, but then I checked and I saw that my plan was to have lemurs in it, but when I placed the lemur in what essentially would be the space for them, they couldn't move at all. There was no possibility to make it a working habitat, and I didn't want to build an entire house or such an entire house for prop animals, for prop monkeys. So I decided to scrap it, and instead we have this gigantic fountain over here with a bunch of animals from all the reward statues from all the DLCs, basically bringing together the whole animal world basically. And we have this obelisk in the middle, which is very typical for Schönbrunn and these royal palaces to have these Egyptian obelisks in the center of the fountains. Schönbrunn itself has one, so I would say I thought it would be fitting basically to have that here instead of the monkey house. And the second one, I think we can also jump over there. It might take a while, but we can take a little stroll through the zoo, over the lawn. Never walk over the lawn, but we are allowed to. So we can come to this view, because this street now is also fully finished with the building, with the administration building, or the main administration building back here, together with a new fountain over here, which has a giraffe, because of course we are close to the giraffe habitat. So we have this giraffe over here. And then we have the main administration building that we built in the last live stream that I did. This one, basically, this is what the name says. It is an administration building, so probably the offices of the zoo, the zookeeper, not the zookeeper, the zoo director would be here, and probably also marketing officers and stuff like that. So this is our main administration building now, serving as the final building of this street of the zoo. And with that, this part of the zoo is also finished. There might sometimes be, at some point in the future, might become an addition over here, but I'm not sure yet if I will do that or not. So for now, it is closed up. To the left, we have our monkey islands, and to the right, we have our giraffe exhibit, and in between, we have a lot of aviaries, but this part of the zoo is now also finished. But yeah, this is everything I wanted to show you for this week. So you now are now up to speed with everything regarding Tiergarten Edelwald, with all the buildings and things like that. And yeah, as I said, I will see you in the next episode next week again with a regular episode with a new animal build, most likely. And until then, I wish you a great time. Have a lot of fun, stay safe, and bye bye, everyone.